In this video we're going to have a bit of fun, as I'm going to show you how you can use Vcds to code in some amazing features to your Audi TTS. To do this yourself, you're going to need one of these, which is a Windows laptop, and one of these, which is a Rostec Hex V2 interface. This is the thing that's going to cost you a few bob. This is available in 3 different formats for different costs. You can get it in a 3 VIN version, a 10 VIN version, or an unlimited VIN version, depending on how many cars you want to use this for. As I'm only going to be using it on a few cars, I bought the 10 VIN version. And I'll stick a link below where you can get one of these. No affiliation from me, I get nothing from this. Once you have got these items ready to go, then you just need to go onto the Rostec site to download the software and install it on your laptop, like this. So once you've downloaded the software and received your Hex V2, and you fire it up and plug your Hex V2 in, it will ask you to enter the serial number that Rostec should have sent you after you've purchased the actual adapter. So once you've done all that, you're ready to go to plug it into your car and register your car against the software. Let me show you that. And if you don't know where your OBD2 port is, it's usually underneath the headlight switch. Just go straight down underneath and you'll find it there. So I've plugged the interface into the OBD2 port. So now I'm going to plug the interface into the laptop. This is what should happen. So having plugged it in, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go to select any of the control modules. So I'm just going to say select Central Electronics. Now, here we go. So it's got the vehicle's VIN. So it's telling me here, my VIN is not registered in interface. Would you like to add it? I have one VIN currently registered, which was my old S5. So I'm going to confirm it by entering the VIN's last 3 digits, which is 730. Okay. So now I've got 2 used VINs. Okay, that. So we're now all set to go. Now I'm going to go through some features that you can enable in your Audi TTS. Now not all these features will be available. Some cars are slightly different than others, but this will hopefully put you in the right place if you want to go and try this yourself. Be aware though, I cannot stress strong enough, you must make a backup of the configuration before you make any changes, because you can actually mess things up, and if you can't remember what it was before, you can just then restore the backup you made. So tinker with this at your own peril. So as my car was a write-off, first thing I'm going to do is go check we've got any error codes that we can reset and get rid of just to get to a ground-based position. So to do this, what we need to do is, from the main menu, we need to choose Auto Scan. And then all we need to do is hit Start. That's going to go through each of the modules and find out any faults that we have and stick them on the screen for me. There should be quite a few. Your car will start making all sorts of funny beeps and blops as well, so don't worry about it. Just let this run and then we'll have a look at the end of it. I'll speed this up and we'll come back when it's finished. And there we go. Now you can see from that, man has got plenty of errors, but some of these are going to be historical from the crash and when things have been disconnected, etc. So if you look on this page here, you've got a clear all DTCs. So we're going to hit that and hopefully we'll clear loads of them away and we'll just see what's left after that. Now what we have got left here now is the DTCs that have got an issue. So I've got an engine status one here, so let's go have a look at these. So this one I'm going to say is to do with the battery, so I'm not too worried about that one. And some to do with the HVAC, not bothered about that one either. So it's saying the steering wheel is not getting any, can't see the radio. And so I'm guessing that's when you want to use your radio controls from the steering wheel. Well, this car has got a third-party stereo system fitted, so that's why that's a problem. Not bothered about that. Another one on the CAN gateway there for a radio problem. So this one says switch for mirror adjust implausible signal. So this is saying the driver's door, the switch for mirror adjust has got an implausible signal. That's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? So I've put this onto the driver's door mirror to adjust it, and as you can see there, look, the mirror does adjust. So I'm not sure what that's what's saying really. Let's have another go, see if we can clear that one. Okay, so that one has been cleared. So let's have a look at this sound system. I'm thinking, oh, that one's going to be again. It's going to be the radio, isn't it? Error in output stage, no signal from the radio. Yeah. So you see that one won't clear because there is an error there because there's no radio for it to look at. And the next one's radio and the last one's telephone. So yeah, so they're all actual rubbish ones, aren't they? If I just start another detection, I'll just run this through. I'll come back to you when it's finished. Well, yeah, look, there we go. So that's the result time. We've lost the two that I cleared. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 errors on there now. So now we can close this and we can start having a little bit of fun. So to make this easy, what I'm going to divide this video up in chapters, and below you'll see a list of all those chapters. So all you need to do is anything you're interested in programming or removing, then just go to that chapter, click straight in, and then you'll be able to look at that. I'll be able to jump straight through without watching all the other stuff. But I'm going to tell you what I'm doing on each step of the way. So the first thing I'm going to look at is how to enable that needle sweep when you turn the ignition on. So without needle sweep, when I turn the ignition on, this is what happens. Nothing. So we're going to enable it now. So instruments, then adaptation. Then if you go to this pull down and you want to select special functions 1. This will now come up with the information. Here we go. So you see here, needle sweep. It does say S3, TTS and R8 only, but I would have thought the TTRS would have it, not sure. But it's the last byte of these 3. So you need to set it active. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to turn that one on. Hit the test button. It should say, yep, I accept that value. Hit the save button. Yes, please. And then done and go back. Right, let's have a look what that did to the dashboard. So what that does now is when you turn the ignition on, this happens. Whoa, I like that. So for this next one, we're going to enable the lap timer. Again, I think this is only on the TTS and some of the high level vehicles. But let me just show you what that means. If you look at the dashboard here, if I just step through the central display of the dashboard, we've got that screen, followed by that screen, followed by that one, followed by the digital miles per hour, and then we've got to the menu off, and then back to the start again. Right, let's add a lap timer to that. For this one, we go to Instruments, and we go to Adaptation. We've been here before, because this was the same place that we did the needle sweep. So we're going to go here and choose Special Functions 1. And once we're in there, we'll get the pop-up which tells us that the lap timer is the middle one of these 3 characters. So we need to go into here and change that to a 1, test, and save. Yes. So let's check what the dashboard shows now. So stepping through again, we've got that screen, followed by that screen, followed by that one, followed by the digital miles per hour, followed by a lap timer. There we go, look. So now we've got that available to us. So the next amazing feature we're going to enable on my TTS is the coming home lights. Now what these lights do is, they basically, when you get to your destination on night time, you take your key out the ignition, your headlights remain on to light up your driveway to guide you to your front door, hence coming home. Let me show you in the menu where this feature is supposed to be. Looking at the menu, what we need to do is step through the options until we get to the actual menu itself, which is here, and then we go up to the set, and we go down to the second screen, to the lights bit. Now as you see here, we've not got anything there for coming home options. So that means we've got to go and enable it. Let me show you how. So we need to go into Central Electronics, then Coding, and then the long code helper. So the byte we need to go to for this is 12. So here we go, we've got bit 0. We want the coming home time to start with the door opening. So we're going to enable that feature there. But now we need to step up to byte 17. And in here, we have got coming home, active, and leaving home, active. Now, leaving home, same thing again. When you unlock your doors with your remote, it'll turn on the headlights, so it allows you to get to your car. So we might as well turn that one on as well. And that should be it. If we now come back from this and we do it, coding has been accepted. So let's check out the dashboard, what that's done. So go back into the set menu again, and we go down to the light section, and look at this now, we have exterior lights. If we now select that, we've now got coming home, and we can set the time of how long we want those to be on. So this is set for 30 seconds, and we have leaving home. Now that's not on at the moment, so you can turn that on if you want, just by that. And that's it, yet another great feature enabled in this car. Let's move on. And the next feature is going to look at comfort opening for the windows, which means you should be able to open the windows when you stood outside the vehicle with the remote control. For instance, you're walking up to the car on a very hot summer's day. As you're getting closer to the car, press and hold the unlock button on your remote control and the windows should drop down. Let me just show you, without it, what your display looks like on the car. Into the menu, and we go set, and if you step down here, when you go to this screen, there is nothing to do with windows. There's no option for windows. That means you have not got comfort opening enabled. Let's fix that right now. And yet again, it's going to be in central electronics, coding, long coding helper, and this time we're looking at byte 3. Here's all the comfort operation. So what I want to enable here is comfort operation by the door lock, so you can put the key in the lock and twist and hold it and it'll open all the windows, and also by remote control, which is there. And let's save that. Do it. Right, let's go see how that has changed the menu. Looking in the menus again, go to set, and we now step down to the next page, and look at here, we have Windows has now appeared. So select that, and we've now got convenience open automatically on. So what does that do for us? Well, I'm sat in the car now with the windows up and the doors locked. If I now press and hold the unlock button, you will see that both the windows, that one and that one, now automatically open for me. Beautiful. So for this next one, if you're like me, I like a audible confirmation of when I lock the car, because I usually turn around, start, walk away and press the button. So it'd be nice to have a little beep to let me know that the car's been locked. Well, you can enable that in VCDs as well. Let me show you how. And yet again, we're into central electronics, and now go into coding, long code helper, and this time want to go to byte number 5. Now in bit 1 here, look, you see locking confirmation via horn active, so we just need to turn that one on, close this down, do it, coding accepted. Right, let's see what that does. Right, so I'm going to stay in the car, so let's just take the keys out, open the doors if we've left the car, shut the door, and now we're going to lock the car. Listen. Yay, with that. So that now gives me that audible alert that the car has been locked. And for unlock, absolutely nothing, which I don't want that on the unlock because I'm walking up to the car looking at it, so I don't need it. On to the next feature. So this next one is to do with the DRLs. Now, by default, the front DRLs are on, but there's no lights at the back for the daylight running. Let me show you what I mean. So standard settings are obviously the front DRLs on, as you can see here. And if we go to the back, then, yep, we have no lights on at the back. So that's standard DRL mode. Now, some people may just want to have the rear lights on as well. Well, you can code this with VCDs. Let me show you how. As usual, central electronics, coding, long coding helper, and this time you need to go to byte 18. So looking at byte 18, you've got 58 set there, which is the standard, which just says DRLs on the front. If you click on this, you can choose 59 look, which is DRLs front and rear. Save that option, do it, okay. Let me show you what change that has made to the lights. Changing that setting, you can see we still have the DRLs on the front, and if we now go to the back, you can see we have the rear lights on as well. On to the next one. So for this next one, we're sticking with the DRLs, and you can actually alter the brightness of the DRLs. Let me show you how. Again, we're back in central electronics, coding, long coding help. This time, go to byte 24. And you can see here, there's a value you can change for the percentage of your DRLs. I'm just going to alter this down to 80. Then when I save this, I'll do a video of how it alters the brightness of the LED. So let's save that. See if that alters the brightness. Now I won't know until editing whether that did alter it, But what I'm now going to do, I'm now going to change it to 50% and see where that alters it again. So let me go have a look at the DRL, see if they have dropped to half the brightness. I can't tell on that. Right, let's drop it down to 10% and see where that makes a difference. Yes, that did make a difference, even though it's fairly subtle, but you've probably got a better view of it changing on the actual lights when the camera was videoing it. I'm going to put this back to what it was, which was 92%. So if when you get in your car and you try to start it and you forget to press the clutch when you're turning the key, you'll see this on the dashboard. Well, if that gets on your nerves, you can turn that off as well, like this. So it's central electronics, coding, long coding helper, byte 20. Here we go. So bit 4, untick that, do it, okay. So now you get nothing in the display, like this. Turn the key, nothing. To be honest though, as I drive automatics all the time, when I jump in this car, I've actually done it a few times. I've been pressing the brake, turning the key and thinking, what? So I think that I'm going to leave that on because that is going to help me. So I'm going to turn it back on. Ah, that's better. So it brings us on to the last change we can do on VCDS, and this one might be of interest to a lot of you guys who do your own servicing. Now if you check on the dashboard, you can actually look and see your service interval that's set at this time. Let me show you mine. So with the ignition turned on, my engine's running at the moment. Take hold of the reset button here and pull it up. And it'll tell you that the service is in 545 days. But the oil change service is 192 days. Now if you've watched a series of videos on my Audi TTS, you'll know that I've actually carried out a service on my car within the last couple of days. So I need to reset that. This is how it's done. So in this instance, we don't go to Central Electronics, we actually go to the SRI reset from the main menu. What this is going to do now is going to go down all those adaptation channels and scan them and get the information that's anything to do with servicing. So this has gathered all that information it needs. So now if we go up to select an operation, now the one I'm going to do is the oil service reset for Great Britain. And we come down here and we do perform SRI. That's going to go back in and update all the channels it needs to. And that has now completed the reset. And as we can see, the oil change has now gone to a year or 9,000 miles. Perfect. And that's your lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. There's plenty more things you can do with VCDS, but I'm not going to go into every single thing on here. It's well worth buying because it works on any VAG vehicle. I've got a new vehicle coming next week. I might be able to use this to make some modifications on. We'll talk about that in another video. Anyway, I hope this has been of interest to you. If it has, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It costs you nothing. Really does help my analytics and helps me produce more videos like this, especially for you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.